Muskegon's 100.9. Andy, it is 8:04. Got 14 degrees outside right now and some sunshine coming up before too long. Maybe a chance of some light freezing drizzle overnight tonight or patchy snow, but nothing to freak out about. All right, so it goes like this. It starts off with Black Friday, which spilled over into Thursday, which I don't know what they're calling that anyway. I thought it was Thanksgiving, but, what do I know? But you got Black Friday, then you got Small Business Saturday. Sunday you get a break. Monday is what's called Cyber Monday, when everybody's shopping for their last-minute things online. And, okay, so we got Thursday, we got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Tuesday must be something. I mean, we got to come up with something after all this stuff, and we got to keep in mind that there are charities out there that could certainly use a hand. So out comes Giving Tuesday. And who better to talk about giving than Lisa Tyler and Chris Burnaw from the United Way here in Muskegon. Welcome, ladies. How are you?
We're great. Thanks for having us, Andy.
Well, hey, that's what we're here for. Find out some of this stuff going on.
Well, Giving Tuesday's been around for a few years now, and it's grown.
It's 3 years.
I think it's 3 years this year.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. My daughter, on the way to middle school today, she's 13, said something. I said, I'm going to be on the radio this morning talking about Giving Tuesday, which is about giving back to your community. And she said something about, it's kind of ironic, Mom, that you have Thanksgiving, we're thankful, and then the next day it's all about greed.
Yeah.
Or conspicuous consumption, as I said. And she's exactly right. So that is why this day came about 3 years ago.
One of the things, Black Friday, you can get some good deals and things like that. And you know what? People enjoy the experience of getting out and doing something a little nutty. Mm-hmm. But you're right. There is a hint of greed to the whole Black Friday thing when people storm these stores, and it's gotten better than it used to be.
Right. Well, but like you said, part of the reason it's gotten better is because they've spread it out into Thanksgiving. So we view Thanksgiving as really the beginning of the season of thankfulness, of gratitude.
Sure.
So in my mind, it's the best way to really remind people of that just a few days after we've been talking about what we've been thankful for.
Right. And
we're coming up on the Christmas season or Hanukkah or whichever you celebrate, that there are a lot of organizations, a lot of ways that you can give to your community. It's not just about giving money. It's about giving your time as well. But this is, in my mind, this is what you do as your life on earth, that you should be giving back to people as well.
You should at least try.
You should at least try. Everybody can do something.
Something.
Even little kids can color food bags for sack suppers for kids' food basket, or you see scouts all the time, young kids, and all the schools that do food drives at this time of year to fill the food pantries, which is so desperately needed. So,
and the United Way is there year round to try and help fill the gaps when some of this stuff comes up. Chris, talk a little bit about the United Way and some of the work that you guys do. Everybody knows the United Way, but what is it that when the rubber hits the road, what are you guys out there doing?
Well, United Way tries to be a collective impact. So we look at the needs of the community and try to identify gaps. And, people often think that United Way is just about fundraising, but it's not. It's about so much more. It's about bringing together partner agencies and volunteers in the community, really, to change our future for the better so that we're all working together.
Yeah, in Muskegon, at any given year, about I don't want to. You don't have to give me an exact number, but about how much money does the United Way bring in and spend and put toward great organizations here in town?
Our goal this year is $2.5 million for Muskegon County.
For Muskegon
County. Now, United Way of the Lakeshore also covers Newaygo and Oceana. They each have their own fundraising goals that are a little over $100,000 each. So the money raised in each county gets sent out to agency programs in each of those counties, which is the great thing about it. We have one board of directors, but volunteers who make those decisions in all of them. So there's a lot of different ways our money goes out. Some of it goes out through a volunteer process, community investment, where they review the agency proposals and make recommendations. Some of it is directly decided by donors. They can designate on their pledge forms, I want my money to go to agency ABC, and it does. And it doesn't pass through the volunteer investment process, so we're not scrutinizing those. And then there's lots of different kind of grants, and we coordinate the Emergency Food and Shelter Program, which is what used to be the FEMA program of federal government. And there's a lot of other different ways that we're out there. But besides the money, we're really doing a heavier focus on volunteering and getting people to give in that way as well.
I think when people think about giving, the first thing that comes to mind is giving financially.
Right.
And you think, oh, I've got so many bills of my own, and I've got this and that, but giving is so much more. It's giving of your time, giving of your treasures, giving of your talents. And really, if you think beyond just the financial's always good too. We
Sure.
always have that need in our community. But there's so much more that you can do.
Right.
Give someone a smile. That can turn someone's day, really, from bad to good if you take a moment to talk to them.
Now, you're here both with the United Way. That's fine. And if people want to give to the United Way, that's great. But there's also other kinds of charities all through Muskegon that could use a hand, too. And so Giving Tuesday is not necessarily about the big charity things.
No, it's about giving, in any way. It can be to a nonprofit. It could be about giving some time to your kids' school, to their sports teams, to your churches, to your favorite animal shelter. It doesn't matter. It's about giving to help others. And as Chris said, it really can be as simple as doing a little pay it forward. Buy somebody's, lunch who's behind you in line someplace. Do something that makes you feel good, that makes a difference in somebody's life. You don't even have to know. When you give money, you don't know what kind of a difference you're making.
Right.
You just have a trust that you are. And, in our case, we get reports back from our agencies. We're helping about, 100,000 people a year. Now, that's not unduplicated. Some of those people may be using multiple services. But with a population of 170, we're touching a lot of lives that way. And that's just through the programs that we fund. And as you said, there are tons more doing great work in this community. So we're all about advocating, giving to whatever your favorite is. Obviously, we think United Way is great, but lots of other ones out there that are very worthy as well.
The day is really about celebrating generosity and the human spirit. And one of the really fun things they're doing is this thing called Unselfie.
Okay.
And you can take a selfie of yourself holding up a sign that says, I give because I care, because I love my community, because I love my children, and then post it to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter with the hashtag Unselfie or hashtag Giving Tuesday.
Yep.
And that way they can see those and like those. And it's just a way of kind of focusing outward a little bit rather than the selfies we're always taking.
Well, she gives me this look like I'm somehow famous for selfies. I mean,
Are you, Andy?
Yeah.
I've never been known to take a selfie, to be honest with you.
I can see an Irish Spring selfie in your future there, Andy, possibly.
Yeah.
Outside of
think you need to
Joanne's,
do an
perhaps, would be perfectly appropriate. So, not that I follow you or anything.
I think you need to do an unselfie today and post it to the United Way Facebook.
I might just do that.
Well, you do a lot of things for the community.
You
But, one of the things that was really interesting, just last night I saw, I went to a viewing of a documentary that's done by a professor at Grand Valley, Sal Alimo, and it was at Hackley Public Library. It's called What is Philanthropy? And it was, as I said, about an hour-and-a-half documentary, and he went all over the country filming people talking about it. Everyday people, even Mike Farrell, who used to be on MASH, was BJ Honeycutt, I think, on MASH, and talked about that. And what I was reminded of, I knew this years ago but had forgotten, is the word philanthropy comes from a Greek word that means love of humankind.
Sure.
So it's interesting how our take on philanthropy has changed, because lots of people think of it as giving money or something, but it's really about love for your fellow man.
Yep.
And when you get down to the roots of it, that's what Giving Tuesday is about. It's about doing something in whatever way feels right to you, to do something for your fellow human beings.
So it's a piece of cake.
It is.
It's no skin off your nose. It's not a hard thing to
No.
do, and all you got to do is just one small thing today.
And it makes you feel good, too.
It does.
Giving
I've been known
really makes you
to
feel
do
good.
a charitable thing here once in a while.
Once in a while.
Just every now and
And
again.
it's really
and it does make you feel good.
It does.
Yeah.
I really truly think you get more out of it than you put in. And some people can do money, and that's great. We always need that, because all of the organizations need that. But doing whatever you can do, there's no right or wrong. There's
Perfect.
nothing too big or too small.
Talk about the new year for the United Way. What's coming up with the United Way? What's the push for 2015?
Well, we're actually really excited about it. We just embarked last week on a strategic, I don't want to call it strategic planning, because that's such a boring snoozer word, a strategic direction process for United Way, where we're looking with our board and with our volunteers at what United Way is going to be in the future. We've been we're 97 years old in Muskegon County, so we're just a few years away from our 100th anniversary, and we want to be able to have something really impactful that we can announce by that time. And so we're looking at possibly narrowing our focus on what we're doing. We'll still be the safety net in the community. I don't see us ever going away from being
Sure.
there for those basic emergency needs people have. But looking at, should we change our focus and narrow it a little bit so that we can make a bigger impact on the community and pick a topic that we're really going to focus on for the next few years.
Perfect.
So that's an exciting time for us, I think. We're trying, as the year ends, trying to finish out our campaign. It doesn't technically end until March, but usually people are in the rush to do those last-minute end-of-year gifts for tax purposes and all of that. But we'll do we'll do Day of Caring projects. We're doing Seasons of Service, some more volunteer projects year-round. We've been known for that one big Day of Caring project with hundreds of people, but we're getting as we have something every month. We're getting our Youth United, which is our high school programs throughout the county to get high school youth involved with us. They're going to do their first youth-led Day of Caring in April. So we're pretty excited about that, to have youth really leading that. So the high schoolers will probably be working with middle school and elementary school, and I believe they're doing a project at Camp Pendaluan out there. So I think it'll be pretty cool to see kids doing that for the first time. And boy, there's nothing like watching the energy of young people get involved. And we need to be, Chris and I and you are not going to be around forever. We need to be making sure that we're bringing up our kids. We'll be around for a few years, but we're making sure that our next generations are coming up and learning the same things. And I know that's a big push for me. That's how I was brought up. My mom and dad were greatly involved in the community. My dad was involved with United Way in Ionia for 25 years.
Yeah.
I know Chris is pushing that. We don't lecture it, but we just show it with our kids what we do. And so we are trying to do that throughout the county.
I wish you would know more about what's coming up in 2015, to be honest.
I wish I could tell you some specifics, but it's an exciting process because to me, I've been involved with United Way, on and off as a staff person and a volunteer for 24 years now, and I started when I was a baby, really, and it's been interesting to see the changes. And as Chris said, a lot of people do know us as a fundraiser because we used to have those big goal thermometers out in Hackley Park and everything, but raising money is the means to do the work that we do in the community. Sure. It is, the product we sell is changing the community and changing our future. That's the means that we do it. So we're really trying to change the focus and really be about making difference in somebody's life.
I think you're doing a good job.
Well, thanks.
Tuesday is Giving Tuesday, the United Way. You can use that hashtag. We'll put all this up online at muskegonradio.com as well to keep people informed. Chris,
great.
Pleasure to meet you. Lisa, always good to see you. Things are good at the Cherokee?
They're wonderful.
They're wonderful.
Just there this morning.
I've been there once or twice myself.
I've seen you a couple of times.
Let's get down to some Van Morrison. Wild Night, Giving Tuesday. Do what you can, even if it's just a smile and a handshake. It goes a long way. Van Morrison is on Muskegon's 100.9.